It's trapping the flow of the sound in the makhraj itself. It's trapping the flow of sound in the makhraj itself. Now you say, why am I telling you guys this and I wrote it down and everything like that? We're having a quiz at the end of this class, okay? Having a quiz. So I'm reviewing this with you so that you know. Trapping the flow of the sound in the makhraj. Like, for example, like we did with ba, but I'm going to give you another one. I'm going to give you like qaf. Here's qaf. Qaf is a good example. Say qaf. Now say aq. Aq. You hear that? You trap the sound in there. Aq. Say al-haq. You see that? Now people may think I'm talking about the qalqala. I'm not talking about the qalqala. We'll get to that later. That's a sifat that doesn't have an opposite. Here I'm talking about the strength. How you trap that sound. Haq. Okay? If you don't trap it, you won't hear it. You sound like an Egyptian. You'll say, ha, ha. That's how they say it, ha. Aulu. As opposed to aqulu. They say, aulu lak. They don't pronounce it. They don't trap the flow of sound inside the makhraj. Okay? I'll give you another one, ak. That doesn't have the qalqala. Say ak. You hear that? You're trapping it that time. Ak. Ak. Like when you say the word cat. Okay? Or tack. Same word. You trap the flow. Same sound, I should say, not the same word. Same letter. Say tack. That person is tacky. Say tack. You pick up a tack off the floor. You see, say the word again. Say tack. I'm going to change the example because I think people might think I'm talking about qalqala. I'll put the calf there. The calf is better because it doesn't have the qalqala. And both of them are allowable. But we're going to use the qalqala later on. The qalqala is that drum beat, that booming sound that comes after the letter in ab and aq and aj and those types of letters. So we'll leave that for now. But here we have ak. Everybody say ak. Ak. You say tack. Same sound. What you're doing, what I'm just trying to bring to you is to let you know what you're actually doing when you say the word tack. You're trapping the flow of the sound inside the makhraj, the pronunciation point or the enunciation point of that letter. Okay? And you're keeping it going there. The next one is, or the opposite of shidda. What's the opposite of shidda? No, not, okay, it's rikhwun, okay? It's ra, kha, and wow. Say rikhwun. Rikhwun. Or you can say rikhwa, but it's rikhwun is easier. We say it like that. And rikhwun is weakness. That's what it means. Weakness. It's not coming. It's not coming so hard. They say looseness here. I wrote that down. But I don't like to explain it like that because when I mean looseness, it's not loose in its pronunciation. It's not loose. It's not that you lazily give the letter. What I want you to understand by this, for example, in the letter kha. What I mean by kha, you have to put some strength in there, it seems, to say kha. Everybody say that. Kha, kha, kha. Okay, kha. You have to make your mouth round. But what the looseness or the weakness that I'm talking about is that it's bumping. You see how that letter is going across like that? Kha. Your throat, your tongue is up and it's bouncing. Kha. Up on the top, in the back. That's the weakness that I'm talking about when I'm referring to that. Okay? That's the weakness. That instead of trapping the flow, you let the flow, you let the flow of the sound, you let the sound flow during the pronunciation. Okay? You let the sound, that while you're pronouncing the letter, go through it. It's blowing the whole time. Say kha. You see that? You see the whole time you're doing it, you're not trapping the flow of sound, right? You're letting it flow. You're letting the sound flow during the pronunciation. You hear that? Or for example, you can say S. You hear that? Or esh. You hear all that? The sound is you're letting the flow of sound, you're letting the sound flow during your pronunciation. That's rikhun. Does everybody understand what I'm talking about? Okay, so instead of trapping it, you're letting the sound, I can't hear you, flow during pronunciation. Sorry? Well, I want to use the word pronunciation here in this state because it makes it easy for people to understand. Because the word makhraj in and of itself is the place of articulation or, enunciation or, pronunciation. So here it makes more sense to use the word, it wouldn't sound straight to letting the sound flow during the makhraj. People wouldn't be clear on that. But they will be clear to letting the sound flow during pronunciation of a particular letter. For example, we use the word akh. Or S. Or ash. You hear that? You're letting the sound flow during your pronunciation of that sound. Is everybody with me? Since we're over here, we'll go over to, now there's a third here that is, we say these all have opposites, but between strength and weakness, there is one that's called tawassut. Tawassut. It is three when you get to shiddah, strength, and weakness, then you get tawassut, okay? Ta, was, sat, tawassut. Okay, it is from the word wusta, which means medial. Here, we're going to use it as moderation. Everybody say that. Tawassut, moderation. Moderation. Okay, meaning that the sound the sound emerges, right? The sound comes up, it emerges. It appears. Everybody understand why I say the sound emerges? But it does not, however, does not flow. Okay, so now we're thinking, what are we talking about? The sound comes up, but it doesn't flow. It's a controlled sound then. Like R. Say raw. You see? Say S. See? That's weakness. It's flowing. Right? Say ek. It's controlled. You trapped it. Now say R. You see? It comes up, but it's just not flowing by itself. You're stopping it. You're controlling it the whole time. Does that mean? Or L. L. The sound comes, but it's not cut and dry like ek or eb or aq. It's not like that. And it's neither is it like ech or s or esh. Right? It's controlled. Our. Right? So the sound, it emerges, but it doesn't flow. We'll get there. Insha'Allah ta'ala, we'll get there. Right now, it doesn't make sense maybe because it's just a bunch of terms that I'm giving you. When we start going through and we say raw like rock or never rolls, although it does repeat. That's for raw. Okay? So, it'll get there. You'll start to understand how to make that sound, how it comes up. The next one that we have here is isti'la. Now you had this for what, 2 weeks now, right? 2 weeks you had this paper, so you should have at least looked it over. Isti'la, and its opposite is lowness. So isti'la is going to be on this side, the strength side, the loud side. Isti'la. I keep saying the word, I don't hear anybody else saying it. Isti'la. Okay? So, an alif here, right? Seen, ta, with a kasra, isti'la, tun, ta marbuta, isti'la. Here I'm going to define it as elevation.